Hey guys, Adam Hart here. Here's a quick and easy guide to DMZ in Warzone 2. This mode has a blend of AI and real people, and I suggest playing with friends or using squad fill because the bots are very hard and you'll have to be careful in gunfights. The max player count for a squad in this mode is 3 people. If you don't have people to play with, you're welcome to join our Discord and group up with other people. We have a lot of people that play COD and our Discord is in the description. So at the menu, you'll notice faction missions. When you first start playing, you'll only see missions in the Legion group, which is the first tab, and you can select up to 3 missions at a time. As you play DMZ and complete missions, you'll unlock more missions in other tabs, such as the White Lotus and the Black Mous. When you go over a mission, you'll be able to see what it unlocks for you. And sometimes you'll be able to unlock double XP, other times blueprints that you can use in both Warzone 2 and Modern Warfare 2. And you can change missions if you ever get stuck or just want to do something else. After you complete a mission, you have to manually select another one. You can view missions while you're in game by pressing the touchpad. At the menu, when you go to the weapons tab, you'll be able to select what you go into the DMZ match with. When you first begin, you won't have much, and whatever you exfil with, you're going to keep for future games. So let's start off with your weapon, which is in what's called your Insured slot. You'll be able to unlock more Insured slots by doing missions, and that's why these faction missions are so important. Maybe you don't really want to do them, but they're gonna unlock other guns for you. And any weapon you've unlocked in Modern Warfare 2 will be available here, as this is just like the Modern Warfare 2 gunsmith. When you complete your missions, they'll advance to the next tier. So I completed my tier 1 missions and now I'm on tier 2. And once I complete tier 3 of every faction, I'll unlock my Insured slot 2. So I'll be able to bring in another custom weapon into my DMZ games. And when completing tier 5 of any faction, I'll unlock Insured slot 3. So I can bring 3 custom weapons in. But if you die, there's going to be a cooldown for over an hour. This means you can't load in with your custom weapon, but you'll be able to bring any guns you got throughout your past DMZ games, which are called Contraband guns. When you die with a Contraband gun, you lose it forever. When you die with your custom loadout gun, you have to wait for a cooldown, but you'll eventually be able to use it again. So for instance, let's say I go into my next DMZ game with my custom tac AR and I die, I'll be able to use that same weapon again with all the attachments I put on it after I wait for the cooldown timer, which by the way can be decreased by putting money into dead drops, which are dumpsters around the map, and here's all 6 locations. I also made a separate video on that. If you want to check that out, that's in the description. Now that I can't use my custom gun, we can bring in our Contraband guns from past matches. So if I picked up a P90 in my last game, I can bring that into my next one. Let's say I die with that P90. Now I've lost that P90 forever, and there isn't a timer on getting that back. Unlike my custom weapons, it's just gone. And the same goes for everything else I pick up. At the top you'll notice a default armor vest, which is just a 1-plate vest, and that's what you naturally start with. Let's say in my last game I picked up a 2 or 3-plate vest, medium or large backpack, gas mask, kill streak, and a self-res. Those icons will be highlighted at the top, showing I have all those items for my next game. So when I start my next game, I'd start out with a 2 or 3-plate vest and any other items that I picked up in my last game. There's also different keys you can pick up as well, and you can start your future games with those, but you'll never lose any of this if you don't bring it into the match. You could decide on holding off on bringing stuff with you. For example, if you plan to play with your friends later this evening, maybe you'd like to only equip 1 gun you picked up last game, not even a second gun, and when you play with your friends, then you can bring everything you want and put it all on the line, since your chances of survival is better because now your teammates have brains. There's going to be moments when you lose everything you have, and when this happens there's an option to select free weapons, and you'll randomly get a gun like a doo-doo butter shotgun or an actual good SMG in your next game. Whether you have weapons and items in your inventory or not, make sure to select all the free stuff like your tactical, lethal, and field upgrade. Now the best items are stims because of how powerful the bots are. These guys have aimbot, and I can't tell you how many times they saved my life. As for lethal, they could be all kinds of stuff for you, but I like semtexes. Field upgrades are munition boxes for all the bots you end up fighting, which makes you low on ammo all the time, or battle rage because it makes your health regain faster, or the inflatable decoy if you're lonely. Wait, what? When you hit deploy, you can double check your missions, and here we go. Now we're in a game. The bots have different difficulties depending on where you are, so you might spawn in a camp with basic enemies, or you might be surrounded by heavily armored guys who can kill you insanely quick. As soon as you start the game, try to evade the bots and go right to looting so you can get a 2 or 3-plate vest, better guns, and other items to get you ready to fight. Because when I've played with randoms, I keep seeing them nosedive right into battle and die. when the enemies could have been very easily avoided. Let's open up the map. You'll see your missions on the left, and at the top, you'll see you can even look at your squad missions. There's tons of contracts all over the map as little green icons. And when you pick up a contract, you'll actually become invincible while you're dialing your phone and you'll move faster. So utilize that to save time by moving toward the objective the moment you see where you need to go. Shops will generally have the same stuff, but sometimes there's some differences like the type of kill streak or guns they have. You're going to be low on armor plates all the time, so always stock up on them when you pass by a buy station. And remember, you can stow plates, so don't be afraid to buy a lot of them. There's 2 yellow circles which have a juggernaut and a chemist, and there's only 1 jug and 1 chemist per game. Now you used to be able to drive your car into both of these yellow zones, the juggernaut or the chemist, but if you do that now, your car will instantly explode because Activision didn't like players just running over the jug or chemist and then just leaving with the case or weapon. Both of the yellow circles are in the gas, but you don't need a gas mask before going there since a lot of enemies in those circles hold a gas mask. Even if you can't find one right away, you're gonna have stems like I recommended earlier, and munition boxes so you can keep refilling on those stems, and eventually you'll find a gas mask. If you don't, you can go outside the zone and then go back in for another attempt. The big yellow circle with the briefcase icon is the weapon case, which is on a juggernaut. This zone is full of tons of bots and is pretty hard. If you kill the jug and get the case, exfil right away because you'll be marked on the map for every player to see. Everyone else on the map will see a big red weapon case above you and it'll track you wherever you go. And you could even do that for your advantage, wait for other people to get the weapon case and then kill them. Every time you exfil with the weapon case, you'll get one of the 7 rewards. The first reward is a camo for the RPK, and all the other rewards are different as you go, the last one being an operator skin. The other yellow circle, which is smaller, with the little purple radiation icon, is the chemist, who is in a bright yellow hazmat suit, and they're carrying an M13 blueprint. Kill him and exfil with that gun and you'll permanently unlock it, which is especially useful if you don't have Modern Warfare 2. Here's a couple shortcuts. For the weapon case, you'll get notified when an enemy team picks it up. Watch to see where they exfil, and then if you're on the next exfil after them, you'll see the weapon case show up at the last second right before the game ends. Go near the pilot seat side of the plane, tap the button you use to pick up items, square in my case. Make sure to have prioritized to interact in your pickup item settings, and you'll be able to grab the weapon case and get the rewards for it, as if you got the case yourself. For the chemist, you can have a friend just drop you the M13 gun, and then just exfil with it, and you'll unlock it, and vice versa. And if you don't have any friends, or they're not online, you can just get a sniper and just snipe him from a distance, and he'll die really quick. Or you can go to the shop and buy an LTV with a turret, which costs $18,000, or you can do a deliver cargo mission, which will give you an LTV for free. A helicopter spawns in when you do this contract, so you need to take that out, then just park it outside the zone and gun him down. Run in quick, grab the weapon, get back an LTV, and immediately exfil. You might have to run in, lure the bots over, and eventually he'll come over, but you'll get him eventually. The LTV is extremely useful against real players as well, which can be problematic, especially when you try to exfil, and we'll talk about that later. The timer on the left will start at 25 minutes each game. When it hits 0, the zone will collapse and eat up all the exfil sites, and when the last exfil site is in the gas, a last backup exfil site spawns on the edge of the map. And you can exfil at any point. Maybe you tried squad fill, all your teammates left after they died in the first minute, so you can just get in a car really quick and just exfil. Speaking of cars, you always want one in this mode.
Oh my god, I heard the chime you were talking about.
It's so satisfying, bro.
For you, I guess. For me, I'm like fancy.
Not just for getting around quick, but it's a fast and easy way to kill the bots. And it saves you tons of ammo, which is a big problem in this mode. If you run out of ammo and munition boxes, there's ammo stashes around the map shown as bullet icons. And if you lost everything, this is also a great place to go first because there's always tons of loot at ammo stash locations. You can also take your car to the many gas stations in the map to repair it and refuel it. And there's always cash inside and usually medkits in there so you can get stems and maybe bandages and other stuff. You're also going to need bandages for one of the missions you do. Now let's talk about the best loot locations. Ammo stashes, like I mentioned, have good loot, but there's also some other places. Yum Yum Burger Store in Al Mazrah City. To the right of High Rise, there's a ton of cash registers with money. Sawa Village, go to this building. There's a ladder on either side. Drop down into one of the 4 rooms which all have loot, and one of them even has a golden deagle. although exfilling with this doesn't make the gun gold for you. Even though this is a great place to loot, there's tons of bots in this area and there's been real players in this area in every game I've done. So watch out for that. So when I go there, I loot really quick and I get in a vehicle and I just get the heck out. Al Malik Airport, sometimes you'll spawn here at the beginning of the game. There's tons of crates here, but watch out, there's a lot of armored guys as well. Another good place is to the left of Seraph Bay on the coast at E7. If you go to the right of that on this little island, that's another good place to loot and is one of the places you spawn at. You spawn near the building on the very right side of that little island, and if you go into that building, there's a lot of good loot there every single time. In this building below the shopping center on the left side of the map, there's a police stash on the top floor that's actually boarded up in DMZ, but in regular BR it's not boarded up, so that makes it a really good place to loot in BR. But in DMZ, it's still a good place to loot, and there's an ammo stash nearby as well. This building at the top of Al Mazrah City has lots of lockers which contains a good amount of loot. You'll probably find a picture of a woman here, for those playing DMZ just for that. The train, there's even some hidden caches in some of the cargo. Hidden caches are also in the ground throughout the map, so keep an eye out for that. Here's some hidden cache locations. Above Tyrak Village, which is in the top left part of the map, and it's below the bigger body of water on the left side. Above Al Mazrah City, which is in the top right part of the map. To the left of Al Saman Cemetery between these two islands. And the bottom of Zarqwa Hydroelectric right here on the map. Not too far away is in the middle of Hydroelectric in this little body of water. There's some useful things to know as well, such as look out for red UAV towers, which means real players are there. Bots can't turn those on, thank goodness. Activating a UAV tower to see both real enemies and bots. Real enemies will have a brighter red circle on the minimap.
Player. I'm down. Lazy.
And another thing you could do is activate SAM sites, which will shoot down helicopters for you, which is one of your faction missions, by the way. When you zoom in all the way, it'll show the coordinates next to your cursor. So if I go all the way down here and I zoom in, C7, go to the right more, zoom in, H5. If you're having trouble seeing your marker on the map, go to Settings, Interface, Color Customization, and change the neutral to something bright like pink or purple. I have mine on purple and it works great for me. Then ask your friends to do the same so you can actually see their markers as well. So no more squinting. Your eye health will thank you. Now what will you do with the money you get in DMZ games? Cash you get in your game can be used at a shop to buy stuff, which you can buy backpacks, 2 or 3 plate vests, stock up on gas masks for your future DMZ runs. Any money you don't spend when you exfil will be converted to XP. If anyone's wondering about the money glitch, that has been patched, and so has the amount of XP you get when you exfil with a lot of money. There's strongholds in DMZ, but they require a stronghold key. You can buy one from a shop or find it when looting. You might even find it off real players as well, and when you loot real players, remember to pick up their dog tags on the far left, which can be sold as a valuable at a shop for money. There's location keys like the Police Academy key or the US Embassy key, and these can be seen on the map. You even spawn at the Police Academy for some games, and there's other keys that just have the coordinates of where you need to go, and sometimes they'll even have a question mark instead of a number, just to give you a hint for what area it's in. If the key is gold, it means it has better loot. If you exfil with the key, you'll keep it for future games, but it'll have a limited number of uses, and the game will tell you how many times you can use it. The best place to get keys is to go to the downtown post office and then loot in all the mailboxes, which will give you even more keys. However, the post office itself requires a key, which you can randomly find or you can buy from a shop. You'll come across keys anyway as you play DMZ. If you don't want to get keys, you can push your teammate through doors with a car, and then they can open the door from the inside. Technically, you don't need keys, you just need a guinea pig. Now let's talk about the exfil. Go to one of these icons with a person running through a door. Earlier I said we talk about real players being problematic. About that.
Oh, you finished? Oh my god. You're so filthy, bro.
AI also always spawns when you exfil, and the helicopter takes a little bit before it gets there. The best way to exfil is to have a vehicle so you can either run them over or take cover behind it, because a lot of the exfil sites are out in the open, or better yet, if you have an LTV with a turret. Now when you're in the heli, it still takes a while to take off, so be careful. And if real players come by, you can always ask them if they'd like to join your team, because you can invite and join teams in DMZ by holding the up directional button and going to the right. And who knows, they might actually be friendly. Surprisingly, when I've asked people to be friendly in the mic, they've actually let me be friendly and they let me loot and do my own thing. If you go down in the heli, if you don't die and it reaches the sky, you'll still successfully exfil. If you go down outside the heli, you can manage to crawl into the heli, so keep that in mind as well. If you're tired of dying when you're trying to exfil, you can do a rescue hostages mission, which will give you your own personal exfil, and other players can't see it on the map. Now keep in mind this mission is pretty hard and is way easier with a squad, so I wouldn't do that if you're alone. If your heli takes off and you survive, congratulations, you did it, great job. Now you'll keep a lot of items for future DMZ games, and anything you can't keep and all your money would turn to XP. If you guys have any tips for others, please comment them below, and if you guys would like to see more of my Warzone 2 tips and clips, I have a link to my Warzone 2 playlist in the description. And if you guys are into God of War Ragnarok, I've been playing that game a lot, it's absolutely amazing, and I have a link to that playlist in the description as well. Also, just wanted to say thank you guys for watching my videos and supporting my channel. I spend a lot of time making videos, so every view, comment, like, subscription, and membership helps out so much, and it helps show my channel to new people, so thanks so much, and I hope you guys enjoy my future videos and streams on my channel. If you guys ever catch one of my Warzone 2 streams, I'd be happy to drop the M13 for you, as well as any of my other contraband guns. I plan to cover Warhammer 40,000 Darktide, Callisto Protocol, Hogwarts Legacy, and many other games with tips and clips that you guys might like as well. Like and subscribe for more. Thanks for watching.